Getting back to our top story, the Democratic National Convention. It's virtual this year, which could mean a little less excitement than years past. Joining us now to talk about what we can expect is St. John's political science professor Browne. So, Brian, what do you think about this convention? It's virtual, much of it is pre-taped. Will people tune in?
We'll see. I mean, the spotlight has really diminished over the years from these major party conventions. Certainly, COVID-19 has diminished it even further. It will be interesting how the TV audience, which is really 1 hour per night, is going to respond to what's essentially going to be one big infomercial.
Hmm. Now, do you think it's all part of the Democrat strategy? You know, in the beginning, there was a lot of talk about keeping Biden in the basement, that he could beat Trump by doing nothing. So in this convention, they're really not out there. They're saying less. A lot is pre-taped. What do you think?
Well, I think it does serve the Democratic Party well. We know Joe Biden, throughout his long career, is prone to gaffes and malaprops, and certainly pre-recording or doing this type of communication digitally helps prevent some of that. But it's really going to be interesting to how these speakers, all of them, connect. There'll be no live audience. There'll be no balloons. There'll be no cheers. So it's really incumbent upon the speakers to try to capture that energy at a time when many people are simply tuned out of partisan politics.
Yeah, and what do you think about the speakers? Senator Bernie Sanders was criticized for his tone when he spoke at the last convention when Hillary Clinton was the candidate. Michelle Obama will take the stage, and New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who got a lot of national attention because of his leadership during this pandemic. What could it mean for him?
Well, there'll be a lot of New Yorkers on the stage this week, including the ones you mentioned, as well as AOC and Andrew Yang. So there's lots of New York attitude going on. Certainly, some of these folks will be positioning themselves. Many of them only have a minute or two to speak, so they really have to maximize it. But for someone like an Andrew Cuomo, it just builds upon his national name recognition. AOC doesn't need any more publicity. So it's really it'd be interesting to see how these speakers make use of their time while still managing to message Joe Biden, the main event.
Right. And now Biden, who could be the second Catholic U.S. president, is being called out by Catholic organizations for staying silent on anti-Catholic vandalism and for supporting abortion. Do you think that could have a negative impact when it comes to getting the support of Catholic voters?
Well, certainly, it's really incumbent upon Catholic voters to get informed on all of the issues. And Faithful Citizenship, which is a document produced by the Conference of Catholic Bishops, will help guide Catholic voters who need that sort of extra information to get. But you mentioned the big issues. There has been a lot of that anti-Catholic rhetoric and vandalism going on. And it's really, Joe Biden is someone who wears his faith on his sleeve, and he seems to message it when it's convenient. It'd be very interesting to see how he approaches it this week. We've seen some of his campaign commercials that prominently feature nuns, yet he talks about bringing the Little Sisters of the Poor back into the courthouse. So he really is walking a fine line, and many Catholic voters will not respond to that.
All right, Browne, political science professor from St. John's University. Thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.